Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Raghuనందన్ ji, Sridhar ji, everybody. Didi, I think your video is off.
Okay.
Yes, now it is. Namaste, welcome everybody once again. I request our Vaishnavi, Mari Vaishnavi, she is our Samskara Varga, Nachiketa Samskara Varga Hebal participant. She will be starting with the prayer. Vaishnavi is there? Yeah, Vaishnavi, you can unmute.
Namaste. Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamas ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Vaishnavi. So today, as a continuation of Mani, Dr. Lakshmi Didi's talk, today is our 15th session of this Amritha Parivar lecture series, Pravachana series. So last week we have seen, after the Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter, the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and how it will be applied as an for the Amritha Parivar, how it can be as an applied form. It can be applicable in our day-to-day life, because we already told how Tattvamasi is explained in Bhagavad Gita. So from 13th chapter onwards, the last part of the Aikyam, the Asi part, how the Jivatma, Paramatma, the Aikyam, the relation of individual soul and supreme soul, the relation we can find out, and that what we can say, they compiled form we can find out in the 13th chapter. So with this, all these 35 slokas, Bhagavan is explaining. Because in the beginning also we can see Arjuna is asking the question, what is called the Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Jnanam, Niyam, all these questions Arjuna when he is asking. Bhagavan is explaining all the detailed way as a Jnana Yoga. It will, very detailed way Bhagavan is explaining. So what is the difference between each Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, how we can understand, and how we can make use of this Kshetra to understand the Kshetrajna. So how, by making use of this body, mind, intellect, and purifying yourselves, and the character making formation has to happen to understand the Kshetrajna, and that purification, modification process, how we can do it, and the differences Bhagavan is explaining, and Nirakara, Akara, this thought process also Vishwididhi has explained in the last the sessions. So how the character is much more important, that aspect also we have seen. And as a continuation of it, now today, when Lakshmi Didi will be explaining about the 14th chapter, how in Amritha Parivar, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, how it will be applicable in our day-to-day life. And what is very important for every citizen, we can say, because we all are part of this gunas, three gunas, and everybody is one or other way part of for having these gunas and the variations and changes. We need to understand, to express ourselves, to imbibe the good qualities in ourselves. So let us make use of this prevention today. All of you knows about Manya Lakshmi Didi. Manya Dr. Lakshmi Didi, she is now the founder, chairperson or chairman of the Vivekananda Kendra Vedic Vision Foundation, Kurungalu, and she has taken up a lot of many responsibilities earlier, like joint secretary and then the president of Vivekananda Kendra, a great learned Vedantist or a learned personality in Vivekananda Kendra family, one of the senior most, like of the Karikarta of Vivekananda Kendra, and having thorough knowledge about Swami Vivekananda, Karma Yoga, and our scriptures. So we are very fortunate that Dr. Lakshmi Devi is with us and guiding us in this beautiful evening time. I request our Dr. Lakshmi Devi, please.
Brahmacharya Vrati Dandi Sarva Vedanta Pandita Srimad Viveka Yogi Mam Prachodayadu Sarvada Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangham Langhayate Girim Yatkripadamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Good evening and namaste to all of you. As Prasad has already indicated, we have gone through the 13th chapter, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. It is amazing the way Bhagavan has shown us or awakened our intellect to the truth or reality which exists in the universe as dying and undying. Part of the whole universe, we can say, is all the time dying, dying, dying. Our body, our mind, our cells in our body. But in spite of it, there is an element of life. Krishna tells Arjuna, you can understand that when I tell you, all that you find in this universe, they're all kshetras. But what enlivens it, what brings them to life, what you find as pulsating life, that is me, Arjuna, Kshetrajna. So we could look at our family and judge what are the dying part of our family, our property, our attachments, our foolish decisions about earning wealth and all those things. They have absolutely no life in them. That is, they are not enlivened by the Almighty. But on the other side, all that is our intellectual studies, understanding, meditation, they're all we can get a spark of that Kshetrajna. So Arjuna was very happy. But he was happy, but was not fully satisfied. He wanted to get an answer how the one has become the many. Here Krishna has told of two things, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So there is a mathematical problem here. He wants to know how one has become the many. This is only two. Tell me, Krishna, how you have become the many. What is the secret behind the one Kshetrajna gets transformed into this universe of multiplicity, plurality, and whatnot. How is it that possible? So Krishna says, all right, I will tell you that. When you get this jnana, all your bindings, links, or I said the locks on our treasure chest will all get broken. So that is this wonderful knowledge which we are going to receive from Krishna, by contemplating on which we will be able to rectify many, many misunderstandings and mistakes in our life. So when we stood on the 13th step, we thought, now we can easily get on. See, we are all Sri Krishna's devotees. We have acquired so much of knowledge. And the security check will ask us to just go in. But no, he caught us. He searched into all our inner pockets and found out 20 different characters which prevent us from understanding the truth, which prevent us from getting on to the 14th steps. And the wonder of wonders, we were all the time under the impression that these are things which we can throw off our luggage. All right, I don't want this bag. All right, I will leave it. I won't take this, my phone, I can leave it. But no, Krishna's analysis surprises us. He goes to the innermost part of our personality and picks out amanitvam. Oh, found out. I was thinking nobody knows about it, only I know about it. I am the doer, I am the doer, I can do that, I can. Adhambitvam, companion of amanitvam. So like that, so the dying part of our personality is not this kshetra alone, but our misunderstandings, our ignorance, all have put their seal on our character. They are all dying part of our character. So Krishna says, you can't understand kshetrajna with this sort of impurifications on you. So he says, 20 characters have to be removed. Now, one very interesting thing, when I was reading this, suddenly it struck me. When you are a bhakta, Sri Krishna is not that much bothered. He said, he is my bhakta, he is my bhakta, he is my bhakta. He went on saying in 7 stanzas in the 12th chapter, you know. But when we ask for Nirakara Parabrahma, no concessions at all. We have to be absolutely purified in our mind. That is why none of us can contemplate on the Nirakara. By that time, we will fall down somewhere. By that time, a phone will ring or somebody will come and say, Pujya. Suddenly I remember him. One householder, he said, don't disturb me. Today I'm going to sit for meditation. Nobody should come into my room. He got into the room and closed the door. Suddenly he, after some time of meditation, he said, I feel like having a cup of hot decoction coffee. He slowly came out. Then asked for coffee. And nobody should disturb me. I'm going to meditate. Again, he went in. By 1 o'clock, it goes on like that. So, even if we shut off everything, our inner sanctum sanctorum is filled with amanitvam, adambitvam. All those things are there. So in the 14th chapter, when we are standing on the 14th step of Bhagavad Gita, we have to be very, very, very careful. And it is a very wonderful suggestion. Sri Krishna says that my bhakta, my sadhaka cannot be attached to the kshetra part of it. All these unwanted characteristics, your yearning for this, your desire for this, your attachment towards this, they are all kshetra svabhava. Kshetrajna has Satchidananda Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So no mercy. If you want to contemplate on the ultimate truth, the absolute truth, the Nirakara Parabrahma, no concessions are there. Security check will not permit you to move forward. So Arjuna was looking at Krishna like that, but Krishna is so very kind and considerate towards Arjuna, because it is through Arjuna he is going to give to the whole humanity the Upanishad Sara. So Krishna was very patient. He waited for Arjuna to put the next question. And the question came, Kshetra and Kshetracha makes two, but I want to know how you have become the infinite universe. So, it's very interesting. Where did he take Arjuna? To the very first maternity hospital. The very first maternity home, which was there at the beginning of creation. Maternity hospital, creation. Yes, creation means what? One bija has to be put into the field. And I, bija pradakarta, Bhagavan says, I put my seed into Prakriti. Then she becomes enlivened. She becomes energized. And she said, okay, now I shall start my creation. So Prakriti has with her three upadhis, three gunas, sattva, raja, tamas. Go ahead, you make use of them and do your creation. I won't interfere with you. You can go with your creation. So that was the first maternity hospital. You cannot even think of it. The beginning of creation. And Prakriti Purusha Samyoga, the whole universe has come into existence. And this particular knowledge, Krishna says, will remove all your ajnanas. So when Krishna says knowledge will remove all the locks on your ajnana, suddenly I was remembering Sri Krishna Janma. It's a very beautiful instance. Vasudeva was tied up with chains. He was in a prison. But when he carried Krishna, the Sakara Brahma Rupa of the Nirakara Brahma, Satchidananda Murti in his hand, all the chains got broken away. The doors opened. The whole universe was alerted. Vasudeva is carrying the Nirakara Brahma, the Chidananda Sakara Brahma as Sri Krishna in his hand. There was heavy rain. How to go in the rain? Suddenly an umbrella came. Anandanag himself became the umbrella. But there is no light. Ananda made all the jewels on his head, shed the beautiful light, and the way became clear. Went to Yamuna. Yamuna is full of water. How to cross to the other side, to the Nanda Gokula? Yamuna gives way, and he goes there. Yashoda is in slumber. The whole Gokula has been put into a very deep slumber by the Mahamaya. And she is laying there. He puts Krishna there, carries her back to Devaki's bed, puts her there. Then what happens? When the Parabrahma was put down, the chains came and clasped, the doors became closed, and the negative forces were alerted. And we know the story. This is a symbolic representation that when we are deeply connected with the knowledge, all other obstacles and everything will be removed from our path. What more? See, when they write all these wonderful stories, they put so much of inner meaning into it, but we fail. Unless we get a chance to read Gita here and there or get some knowledge, we won't be able to connect them to them. So that is how Vasudeva comes back, and Kamsa comes and takes the child. He caught hold of her feet for a few seconds, and for that she forgives him. I'm not going to kill you now. Your killer is born already. Search for him. So that is how the mother of the universe blesses for a few seconds, because you have touched my feet. Now I can't kill you. Charanayugalam ambayaha. You have touched it. That is how he gets mother's blessing for a few seconds. Now the creation has started. So Sri Krishna is describing how Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the characteristics of each of these gunas, have been very clearly spelled out by Krishna. And the characteristics of a person who is filled with Sattva, how he will be. Characteristics of a person who is filled with Rajas, how he will be. Characteristics of a person who is immersed in Tamas, how he will be. So all that is described. Sattva means all that is taking you towards Satya. We have seen Amanita, Vadambitam and all that, all those good characteristics which take us to Sattva. And Sattva gives us the capacity to see the whole, to understand the parasparya, the interconnectedness, interrelatedness, interdependence. It has a capacity to make us aware of the totality, the parasparya which exists, and how we are also part of it. So when this knowledge is there, then our character takes a different hue altogether. Some sort of a prakasha comes into the life of such a person. His understanding, his sympathy, his capacity to love, everything gets improved. So Sattva, when it is very, very predominant in a person, he can very easily start ascending the steps to divinity. That is the beauty of it. Then, what about Rajas? Oh, Rajas. We want to earn. We want to make a house. We want to make a deposit. We want to have children. We want to have a good job. We want to have promotion, prospects. Every time working to earn something to add to your worldly pleasures, and that is how it will be. And Tamas, oh, I don't bother about spiritual life and all. I have my own pleasures in life, and I am not in the least bothered about your Krishna or Arjuna or Gita or anything. Go ahead. I don't want to hear all of it. So, Nidra here doesn't mean sleep as such. Nidra is ignorance. You don't want to know at all anything about it. That is what has come to our people now, We are closed to taking this spiritual knowledge. We don't want that at all. So when you have satsangas and things like it, very few people will attend because they are not bothered. If you want to tell them how to improve your money earning capacity, a lot of people will come. If you invite a film star, many people will come. So it has become like that. So sattva, rajas and tamas. It is okay, Krishna. 2, 3, all right, I understand. 1 has become 3. But what we find is infinite variety, Krishna. Tell me how it becomes infinite. I tell you, Arjuna, what happens, these gunas are mixed in various proportions. You know how the 7 colors, when they are mixed in various proportions, can give to infinite variety of colors in this universe. You look at a tree, this tree is green, is different from that tree is green. That is different from the green of this grass. And this is different from the green of the other tree. Oh, that is that. So the proportion in which they are mixed together, I see that is what is creating this. Prakriti is doing a wonderful thing. It is mixing and remixing, and in whatever way it is mixing up the things, and a little sattva here, you will add a little bit of rajas, a little bit of tamas. That is what most of us, a little prayer, a little understanding, a little satsang, but the rest of the time we spend in rajasic and tamasic works. So the proportion in which they are mixed, Sri Krishna says, the difference in the proportion of the gunas are responsible for the differences in our character. But is this knowledge is going to help us? Yes, there is the secret. When these are responsible for our character, their mix-up is responsible for creating me a good person or a middle class or thing. We can do something to add to the proportion. When a mother cooks, she finds mirchi is zyada, salt is less. She will add a little bit of this, little bit of that, and then make it perfectly enjoyable. In the same way, we have the option. That is what Sri Krishna told Arjuna, yethechasi tatha kuru. That ichha we can bring into our life and adjust the proportions of the sattva, rajas and tamas. Our Maharshis have done wonderful homework. They knew that such questions will immediately arise. Sattva, rajas, tamas is only 3. How much of variety? Yes, different proportion. Infinite possibilities are there. The sattva, rajas, tamas content in a tree is different from the sattva, rajas, tamas content in an animal. It is different in a man, and it is super combination in a sadhak. So these combinations are possible by varying the proportions. So what is it we can do? Our Maharshis must have thought about it. And they said, all right, we shall create a system of acharas and anushtanas for the life of a Sanatana Dharmi, by which the sattva will go on increasing. Rajas will be kept at the whatever is necessary. For a householder to earn a little bit of money, little rajas is necessary. Rajas is, tamas is necessary. He has to go to sleep at night. So they have given us beautiful, the Dharma Shastras give us the various anushtanas. Brahme, Muhurte, Utthaya. Starting from there, when you get up, you worship the ground, you worship the water, you worship the Surya, you worship the Grahas. In that way, they have formulated what are the things which we should do so that sattva becomes more and more. When sattva becomes more and more, we would like to go into satsangas, we would like to go on pilgrimages to good places, we would like to meet great people, we would like to go and listen to them, we would like to start reading Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, things like that. And then step by step, Krishna will take care of us, take us by hand, he will take us and help us to climb the stairs. But Rajas will create a lot of unhappiness for us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, Malsarya. It will give to all of them. So this Rajas, when it combines with these 7, imagine the multiplicity which can come out of it. Again, the proportion of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, Malsarya can be in different proportions, and we find that man is confused. So, these Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are primarily responsible for, but there is one thing. What is that thing? Even in the midst of that, we get attached to these gunas, but still they are held together or kept under control by Dehi, the Atma. We don't know that. We forget that it is that inner light that is lighting up this. So what are the things by which we get confused? The Shastras say, pramada. Our misunderstandings of this universe comes, one reason is pramada, mistaking one for the other. That is the mistake we all commit. We take the world as the reality and the ultimate truth as non-existing. So that is Iprama. We take that as the reality. We don't have no idea of the reality, so we take it for granted. What our Panjendriyas bring, the knowledge, that is the reality. So Shastras call that as Pramada, number 1. Number 2, inability to judge between right and wrong, samshaya. Oh, will it be all right if I go this, should I go to Krishna? Should I go to Devi? All sorts of little and big samshayas are there, doubts are there always in our mind. So that is also due to the doubt. These are the things will bind us to the gunas. Lastly, total ignorance. We don't know anything about it. We have never had a chance to hear. Now so many people are there outside India. They have not heard about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. They have not heard about Satya and Dharma. They have not heard about Sachidananda. They have not heard about the potential divinity in human being. So what to do? So that is total ignorance. So these are the 3 things by which Dehi becomes bound to the Deha. And we commit all sorts of mistakes. Now, we will bring it to our family. We are concerned with our family, isn't it? Now, imagine Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. There can't be a 4th thing. So, in our family, if you want peace, if you want happiness, if you want good things to happen, prosperity, Sattva should be made dominant. From childhood, in all those Brahmin families, they will start chanting Vedas from childhood onwards. They don't know the meaning or anything, but their body, mind, and intellect get so very integrated. Then chanting this becomes part of their life. Once when I came to Kodungalur, I went to Parlikad, Panyal, into a very, very traditional family who are Samavedis. And the eldest member of the family, we just met to put our namaskars. He has no other things in his life. Morning 3 o'clock he goes, takes a bath, have the darshan of the temple, sits there and starts chanting Vedas. At 8 o'clock or 8:30, He comes, just takes a very light breakfast, goes back, start chanting Vedas. 12:30, he comes, takes some food, goes back, starts chanting. You will be surprised. There is nothing else bothers him. All the time chanting the Vedic mantras, nothing else. And at that time, I think they were trying to record, keep Shankaracharya University was trying to keep record of his chantings and things like that. So when we want to create good people in our homes, remember we have to increase the sattva content in our home. Because you find, even though we belong to a family, father, mother, everything, everybody is different. Our skin color, our eye color, our behavior, our capacity. In everything there is variety, because that is the law of Lord Krishna himself. Variety, one in the many. But to unite them all together, bring them first under any of these characteristics, we have to implant in them the thought of this spiritual awareness, by which they will start developing sattvic qualities. When the sattvic qualities comes, they have faith in themselves and faith in the Lord. Then they will start seeing the whole universe as God's family. Then their mind will expand to seva and tyaga, and Lord's blessings will naturally flow into the family. So with all this concern, our rishis were so concerned about the humanity, they wanted to make their life easy. It is very easy. All you have to do to improve your sattva content, your house will be improved, your relationship will be improved, your blessings will be more, you will be healthy, you will be happy, you won't have blood pressure, you won't have sugar. All this can be taken care if your daily routine is based on this sattvic awareness. You spend some time for puja, some time for meditation, some time for chanting, some time to go to the temple, some time to have satsang. Include all these as part of your life, then you will find that this can be improved. But on the contrary, what we are doing today, just the opposite. From morning, by the time children get up, they have been pushed into the school, they're pushed into the bus, then study, tuition, this thing, you have to get a good class, A plus in everything, and then get into the, all that. All this will develop in them the rajasic qualities. So in the household today, what is happening is, very few, one or two maybe is sattvic. Most of us are rajasic. And when rajasic quality dominates, there will be misunderstanding, lack of understanding, intolerance, always quarrels, quarrels for food, quarrels for property. This is what is happening in all our households now, because sattva content has been eliminated totally. Nobody has any preference to develop sattvic quality. So what is happening is this. Imagine all the various acharas and anushtanas. Let us go through them. The Shodasha samskaras. Let us go through them and try to imbibe some of them so that our sattvic qualities are improved and we are on our ascending steps to divinity. Sri Krishna then tells him in a very scientific way, he explains the characteristics of each, because lack of time, I can't go into each of them, but very, very good explanations are there. And in that, one particular thing is samachittada. Samachittada is a characteristic of a sattvic person. Samachittada means what? That takes us to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Krishna says, Samadukha Sugha Susta Samaloshtasma Kanchana Tulya Priya Priyodhira Tulya Nindatma Samstudi Manava Manayo Stulyo Mitrari Pakshayo Sarvarambha Parityagi Gunadita Uchyade. So following this, you can transcend the gunas. Unless we transcend the gunas, we can't reach up to the Nirakara. See, just before that, just before the Nirakara, just before the Vaikuntha, is these steps of the Sattvika. We have to reach up to the Sattvika, develop the Sattvika qualities, and then Krishna says, you will have to transcend them also. So when you transcend them, what happens? All your, this thing will, Samadukha Sukha Swastha, Samaloshtasma Kanchana, Tulya Priyo Dhira, Tulya Nindatma Samstudi. When I read this sloka, I always remember in all our assemblies and parliament, this should be put up in very bold letters with meaning in every 24 languages of India. Maybe let it be there because all our members are there now. All the time quarreling and this and that. Why? What is the meaning of it? We know. Samadukha Sukha. Samaloshtasma Kanchana. This is what reminds us of Sri Ramakrishna. You must have heard, those who have read Sri Ramakrishna's life, he used to sit near Ganges, keeping one hand a cloud of earth and on the other a coin. And then he, takamita, taka, something he used to say. And then throw them both into the waters of Ganga and pray to Mother. Mother, my hand and heart, let there be no difference between a piece of earth and a gold piece. What we will do, of course, we know what we will do, isn't it? That is the Samaloshtasma Kanchana is a very, very important statement. So even in those days, I think people were crazy about gold. That is why Krishna has used this as the ingredient for bringing the Samatva Bhava, Samaloshtasma Kanchana. Our politicians also, as I said, it will be very, very, very interesting if somebody could teach them as part of the training this particular sloka. The importance of our understanding of the gunas, their workings, their influence, not only at the individual and family level, it affects the whole of the world as well, the entire humanity. With this idea in our mind, you look at the humanity. Why some people are becoming, sometimes I feel very sad, maybe the type of food they eat, all sorts of meaty food. All that, of course, they are all described in later. We'll see in 16th chapter and all, we are going to see that even the food we eat, the habits we cultivate, how we sleep, when we get up, when we go to sleep, everything. So the one, and it has become the many, imagine the multitude of creative possibility the Prakriti is using to create this Jagat, this universe where each one is different from the other. Sattva should be cultivated in our life, which alone can light up the path ahead. Sometimes we say, oh, I don't know how to move ahead. Somehow I am at a full stop in my life. All that we have to do is cultivate a little bit of our sattvic qualities. Our mind will become, it will acquire a shine, a prakasha. And in that prakasha, we will be able to see what is good, what is not good, what is correct, and what is not correct. It will become an intuitive expression from our inside. So the samshaya will go, pramada will go, nidra will go. When all these three go, when we are nearing to the pure knowledge. Implanting such important, comprehensive knowledge about the unity in diversity, Sri Krishna, as usual, puts his signature. So he has given the official document, 14th chapter is the official document we receive from Krishna as to how the one has become the many. He took us to his maternity home. He introduced us to Prakriti, and through Prakriti, the gunas, how these, using these upadhis, the whole world is created, and what are their characteristics, and how will affect. For Amritha family, it is very, very important. If you want to develop an Amritha family, remember, Amritha qualities should be the, not the Mrita qualities, the undying qualities. Undying means which will take us to the eternal. Ephemeral qualities have to be removed and eternal qualities have to be implanted. So that is the way we will have to create the Amrita factory or family. So as usual, when the chapter concludes, Sri Krishna always feels, this boy Arjuna, he will always doubt me because I am his Partha Sarathi. I am Sarathi, so when I start preaching to him high and mighty things, naturally, he will always have a inner feeling that Krishna, really he is qualified to teach me all this. That will be. So every chapter we will find one sloka or other in which Krishna puts his signature and seal. And what is the signature and seal he puts here? That he alone is his supreme authority. And this Sopadhika and Nirupadhika Brahma is he alone and none else. Brahmano hi pradisthaham amridasya vayasya cha shashvadasya cha dharmasya sughasya ekadhigasya cha. So I am the person. That is why I have the authority, Arjuna, to tell you. So understand me not as your friend or guide. Understand me as whatever you are seeking. If you want to see me as a Sakara, I showed you the beautiful illustrations of my Sakara Rupa. If you want to approach me as Nirakara, that also is possible. Bhaktya Tvananyaya Sakhyam. So that is the final injunction with which Sri Krishna stops that. We have to carry this thought. We have to bring back those anushtanas and acharas by which we can increase the sattva content of our family, so that there are no quarrels, father and mother, mother and children, in-laws and children. All this comes because the rajasic content is more in each one of them. So let us, from this great lesson, improve the proportion of the sattva content in ourselves and in our families, and from there to the society. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan. That is what Shankaracharya also has told. So Sri Krishna has been so wonderfully, so very considerate he is. No? Through Arjuna, he is taking us all to his abode. May his blessings be ever on us to improve the sattvic content. So Amrita family means it is a sattvic family. All right, let there be some 10% of rajasic so that we have to earn the livelihood. But we have to concentrate on bringing back many of these acharas and anushtanas, find the scientific and spiritual content in them, and make our younger generation understand this, obey these rules, and let them feel for themselves how improved is their mental attitude, the mental climate, the awareness, everything will improve. You start getting up early in the morning, you start doing Surya Namaskar, you will find how it is all happening. So we have to, the elder generation, have to practice it, advise them, and enjoy the effect of it with the younger generation. May Sri Krishna gives us that capacity to follow his words, understand his words, and be one with his thoughts. Namaskar.
Amma was nicely explained the